we are celebrating the Diamond Jubilee of our beloved union, Federal Bank Employees Union, one of the militant affiliate of All India Bank Employees Association this year. When we are celebrating this occasion, we think it is necessary to recall the immeasurable contributions of our various leaders, especially the senior leaders, who during the initial period, in connection with the celebration, we have decided various programs. One of the important programs is share the rich history and heritage of our union from the leaders who led us from victory to victory. The series is named as Leaders Speak. Today we have meeting Comrade PP Varghese, fondly called as PP, who was an office bearer of our union for 4 decades. In the year 1982, he has become the treasurer of the union, and he became the secretary for 12 years. And after Comrade PM Joseph, Comrade PP became the general secretary of our union for a long period of 20 years. Then lastly, he was the vice president of the union. Now we are going to hear from Comrade PP Varghese. Comrade PP Varghese joined the bank as a DCP student. There is a course of Government of India Department of Technical Education, Diploma in Commercial Practice. As the banking institution has some technical difficulties to conduct such a course, our bank has established a trust named as Federal College of Banking and Commerce Trust in the year 1968. And in the year 1969, in the premises of Training College at Lakau branch, we have started the course, and 50 students were admitted in that year. That was the history of DCP course. And Comrade PP was joined the bank as a DCP student. Now we can start conversation with Comrade PP Varghese. Okay, PP, good morning.
Very good morning.
Good morning. First of all, when did you hear about the Federal Bank?
Federal Bank, when I was studying in 10th standard, our headmaster, he only told that there is a course like this. And he suggested to join the college.
First association with the Federal Bank Employees Union?
Employees Union, actually I was confirmed in 1976.
76. After 72 you have joined
72 for DCP, and after 4 years, and during that period I was having training in the head office, various departments, and I had an opportunity to work in the CC department at that time. CC department, where our former General Secretary Comrade P.N. Joseph was working, and that was the first association we can say. And not only that, in 72 there was a long drawn strike in the bank, agitation in the bank, and at that time, at the fag end of the strike, bank decided to deploy these DCP trainees to various branches. And at that time, I was deputed to Kanur branch. Kanur branch, where the branch manager was the first General Secretary of the Union, Sri M.T. Tom. He was the branch manager at that time. And when I joined that branch, that day the strike was concluded. The same day strike was concluded, the previous night, and then I worked there for almost 1 month. And subsequently, we came back to, all of us came back to the Alua, to the college, and subsequently we were working in various departments. I had the opportunity to work during that training period with the former General Manager, Sri K.P. Cherian sir, and that is a period because we were all in the head office. Most of our batch were working
not in the branches.
Mostly in the head office, some in the Alua branches, etc. That was the situation.
At that time, what was the style of functioning of the union? Because the union was only started.
No, started in 1963, and 76 means 73, 72 I told there was a long drawn agitation, and subsequently in 76 I got confirmed, and I joined the union after some time, not immediately. After some time I joined the union, and in 1977 in the Trivandrum conference, at that time this general council was formed in the union first time, and from the head office I was elected as a general council member in 77, and subsequently associated with the union activities, and I was the head office representative.
First posted in head office?
I was posted in the head office itself, in the P&OA department. At that time, I joined the P&OA department, and actually I was working there as a trainee at that time, and I was confirmed and continued in the same department. And subsequently, 79-80, it was a very big agitation, and it was almost 5.5 month long agitation, not a continuous strike, intermittent strike, work rule, so many programs. Agitation was and bank dismissed all the trainees working in the bank at that time, because one of the main demands was that trainee system should be abolished, and the bank terminated all the trainees, because union in 79 in the Kollam conference decided to extend membership to the trainees, and all the trainees were enrolled as members of the union, and they participated in the agitation also, and management retaliated by terminating all the trainees at one stroke. And subsequently, after the strike, in the settlement, the trainees were reinstated.
Long term strike. At that time, what was the style of functioning of petrol bank managers? As a professional banker, or like
not like that. Management used to be always of the same character. Whether it is in 79 or whether it is in 2023, the character of the management, it is, according to me, almost the same. Different approaches may be there, but still the basic character is one and the same.
Basic character. You were union functionary. As a union functionary, you continuous with your various posts held
in Alapura conference in 1982, and the peculiarity was that before some 2 weeks, not less than 2 weeks, at that time the union then president, Comrade TKV Nair, he expired all of a sudden, and immediately after our conference was scheduled and Alapi conference, I was elected as the treasurer. And in 84, subsequently in the 84 conference in Madurai, at that time I was elected the secretary of the union.
Ramesh was elected as president in 94.
Ramesh was, yes, exactly. Satish Chandra Babu, he was president for one time, 82 to 84. 84, Comrade Ramesh, A.R. Ramesh was elected as the president, and Comrade P.N. Joseph continued to be the general secretary, and I was elected as the secretary.
And for a long period of 12 years, you were
12 years I was secretary, and in 96, Comrade P.N. Joseph stepped down from the general secretary post, and I was elected as the general secretary, and I continued for 20 years up to 2016.
The struggles conducted by Federal Bank Employees Union from 72 you have already told, and 79, 80. Then after 80 it was a major struggle was in 1988.
88.
You are in the forefront for that strike.
Naturally.
The experiences and what is the
88 strike, actually it was what I should say, the management policy at the time was to harass the employees for even silly matters. Bank used to issue charge sheet and conduct enquiries against the employees, and huge punishments were also imposed on the employees. So many enquiries were held, domestic enquiries, and at the time the HR department, it was headed by Mr. P.K.S. Menon, and his policy was that for anything and everything, issue charge sheet and give punishment so that employees will be all right. That was the thinking at that time, and employees were fed up. Employees were fed up with these punishments, and in certain cases, bank issued charge sheet and punishment of 17 increment cut. That is proposed. Only 20 increments are there, and 17 increment cut. Like that, punishments for small matters, dismissal, like that. So, employees had that much vehement protest against the actions of the management, and naturally union exposed the anti-employee activities of the or approach of the management, and union had given a call for indefinite strike from 21st January 88, and before that some 2-3 days strike was also there, and finally strike took place from 21st January, and it continued, we can say, for 50 days continuous strike in Federal Bank in 88, from January 21st to March 11th. And during those periods, discussion was there with the management, but at one point of time, the management at that time, the discussion was headed by the chairman of the bank. At that time, Mr. Shamasundaran, he was the chairman, and even directors, board of directors were also, some of them were also present in the negotiation. And at one point of time, the general manager took over the reins of the strike issues, and in the negotiation he was taking the upper hand, and at one stage he told that whatever we have so far agreed, so many days of discussions, whatever we have agreed, it is all just what is it called? Jalarekha. Jalarekha. That is something written in the or drawn in the water, like that. That means everything is withdrawn. That situation was there, and finally, after some 40 days of strike, the conciliation was held by the Deputy Chief Labour Commissioner from Delhi. It was held in Cochin, and Deputy Chief Labour Commissioner, he was also he was also siding with the management. According to us, he was siding with the management, and as if things cannot, it has to be accepted as such, whatever the management is telling. We told that it cannot be. And we had another problem, that our General Secretary, Comrade P.N. Joseph, he was affected by chicken pox at that time, and he was not in the picture after starting of the...
Last stage you were...
So, that was the situation. Anyway, we took a stand that it cannot be settled, this way it cannot be settled. And finally that discussion also failed. And subsequently, at the auspicious or at the leadership of the All Kerala Bank Employees Federation, there was a very massive head office march, and hundreds of comrades participated, and it was a thundering success. And finally, the management also came down. They also wanted a settlement, and for that, at the time, Thrissur, one bishop was there, Dr. Paulos Mar Paulos. He was famous at that time because he had settled a strike in Thrissur, a strike held by these not textile workers, headload workers in Thrissur. It was very big agitation, and finally at his intervention the strike was settled. And here also somebody approached Dr. Paulos Mar Paulos, and he agreed to intervene in our strike, in our agitation, and he called both the parties to Thrissur on, I think it was on 10th March evening. And by that time, at the intervention of the government, the collector, Ernakulam district collector, Sri K. Rajan, he convened a meeting of the management and the union, and that started at 10 a.m. On 10th March morning. Discussion started at a hotel in Cochin, Wellington Island, and discussion continued till early morning the next day, 11th. And finally, a settlement was arrived at, and he was there throughout. From the start of the discussion till the end. And I think it was almost by 5 o'clock in the morning, settlement was arrived at. And in those days, there was no communication like today. There is no mobile or like that. So we wanted to convey the news. And in Kerala, this Kozhikode Akashvani, AR, and morning news will be there. So we informed that Kozhikode AR, and they broke the news that strike is settled and employees will join for duty, like that. And like that, settlement was arrived at. And naturally, the settlement was signed by the General Secretary, the then General Secretary of All Kerala Bank Employees Federation also. Because in the discussions also, at some point of time, AKBF President had also attended, AKBF General Secretary was there. Like that, we were guided by the All Kerala Bank Employees Federation, and finally settlement was arrived at, and including the dismissal punishments imposed on some of the employees, it was agreed to be revoked, and other punishments were reduced. Like that, major breakthrough was arrived at, and finally the strike was settled.
Another major development was there about the bank was taking over of ICICI Bank, attempt to take over by ICICI Bank.
That was
in 1996.
It was in 2003. 2003 or 2004, I think. It was in 2004. And ICICI Bank wanted to take over, and naturally we opposed, and management also. Management means at that time the top management also was in favor of us. And they were also against the ICICI Bank taking over Federal Bank, and it was a very big public movement we could organize along with Officers Association and other public in the Alua area. Like that, it was a very big program, and finally, even though they could succeed in the election, but they did not continue in the bank. They subsequently sold their shareholding to some other people and left.
It was a major achievement. Then it was another development was the stop discontinuing of a trainee system. It was a major achievement.
Trainee system discontinued in 86.
86.
And that was after an agitation, finally, because even though we had fought the issue legally, the decision was not in our favor. So we had gone in appeal to the Supreme Court, and the case was pending there. And at that time, this agitation was there, and we had discussions, and finally it was settled, agreed to be withdrawn. Every employees will be posted as probationers, and like that. Probationer means with all benefits like salary and other allowances, everything, all the benefits of a permanent employee. That will be from the day one. It was in 86.
It was a major achievement. Then I think in 1999, private sector, all India level private sector bank unions cell was formed.
That was in at the instance of AIBA. All the private sector banks, unions, they had formed a cell, and occasionally meeting together and holding discussion and taking decisions to face the to overcome the issues facing the private sector bank employees particularly.
And their pension settlement was in 93. It was including private sector banks.
That is true.
Major achievement.
It was a very big achievement of the AIBA, because at that time all other unions except AIBOA and AIBOA on one side, all other unions in the banking sector were on the other side, and AIBA was demanding that even as a what is it called, as a in lieu of PF, even as in lieu of PF, pension is more beneficial to the employees in the long run. That was the stand of the AIBA. And finally, AIBA pursued with the issue even after all other unions went on strike against the proposal. And finally, in 93, I think it was on October 29th, settlement was signed, and other unions wanted to create confusion amongst the employees. A lot of leaflets and propaganda was unleashed, but ultimately everybody understood that pension was superior to the PF, management contribution of PF. That was proved beyond doubt, and naturally subsequent days all the unions, they wanted to have an option to join the pension which they had refused or they had fought against, and finally it was achieved.
You are associated with many leaders of All Kerala Bank Employees Federations, AVG, TKV, Srinivasan, and AIB leaders like Varghese Chakravarti, C.H. Venkaya. Many years.
Yes.
What is your experiences with them? And
initially, when I was working in the head office in the earlier days, at the time, Comrade TKV was the president of the union, and he was the General Secretary of All Kerala Bank Employees Federation and office bearer of AIBA. And he was having a contact whenever he comes to Ernakulam, etc. Because after 80 strike, I was working in Panangad at that time. So he used to contact, and whenever he comes to Ernakulam, we used to meet. And like that, he is very, what I should say, very approachable, and he was having that much connection with the cadre. That was the peculiarity. The connection and contact liaison with the cadres, and he was traveling throughout the state. So naturally, he was fondly called as Annan. Annan means brother, elder brother, like that. That situation was there, And AVG was another category in the sense he was we can say buddhijeevi. That intellectual level, he is having wide range of knowledge, and like that he was there. Naturally, Comrade Srinivasan, he is moving with everybody, all the comrades. That situation is there. Varghese, I had contact, but not that much close. That way we cannot say. Anyway, all these leaders, they are taking effort, or their habit of undertaking this travel and contact meetings, holding meetings, and taking the issues to the natural conclusion. These are all very tedious, every day, continuous. And that situation is there. And here in our bank, Comrade P.N. Joseph, he was really in that category.
Continuous.
Not only travel, because this taking these tedious efforts and risky decisions, that's also very important. Crucial decisions were taken in those days to face the challenges posed by the management.
And what conclusion it is reached?
And naturally, all these efforts, it is part of a teamwork. It is also there. It is a teamwork. Everywhere our leaders and comrades are there. They are ready to sacrifice anything. That is the advantage of FBEU, according to me. Because any area, our comrades used to be in the forefront of the movement. Whether it is agitation, whether it is conference, or whether it is some other issues, our people will be there.
That was militancy and commitment to the...
That is a commitment, according to me. That is commitment and sacrifice. And whether it is lady or gents, that division, or that is not there. I remember in 1988 strike, continuous strike, at that time, in Hyderabad, we had one that branch representative. Her name V. Pushpa, and she used to issue press statements in the Hindu newspaper. Sometimes her news item comes regarding the strike agitation. Such a program was held in Hyderabad by Federal Bank Employees Union, and Srimati V. Pushpa stated. That is the very small but very catchy news items were released. No, I am telling such comrades were there, or even today, that is the asset of our union.
The intervention of leaders to groom the youngsters to the leadership or mainstream.
That is very much in our union, very much there. Because all youngsters are encouraged to be part of the movement, to take over the leadership of the organization. That and according to me, one advantage is there, that we are permitting criticism in the union. Whether it is General Secretary or President, whoever it is, comrades can criticize openly. There will not be any vengeance against the comrade who is criticizing. Because when somebody criticizes, means he is interested in the union. That is why he is criticizing. Otherwise, why should he criticize and spend his or her time like this? So, that in a positive way, criticism we are accepting, and we are encouraging positive criticism that way. Because each and every comrade will have their own vision, and they will look at from a different angle. So we should ultimately coordinate all these opinions and all these different viewpoints, and that way we are taking a decision which will be acceptable to everybody. That is the peculiarity.
Democratic functioning was there.
Naturally.
That was the women participation. About the women participation, it's first there was no women in our bank. Then their number was increased.
Women participation. Earlier times there were only very few ladies were there in the bank. Subsequently, bank stopped recruiting ladies, and from 77 onwards, again bank started recruiting ladies, and that number gradually increased, and today it is almost equal, I can say. That way, number has increased, and the peculiarity is that even in 79-80 agitation, the ladies working in the bank at that time, so many ladies were there in Alua, and for any program, when the agitation started, for any program, whether it is a procession protesting against dismissal or against suspension, etc., whatever it is, our comrades participated in all such programs, held jathas throughout the town at that time. Like that, and when 79-80 strike, our management cut salary of 8 days for 1 day strike. I remember in 1979 November, we had gone on 4-day strike. So the management deducted the entire salary. No salary was paid for 4-day strike. 4 into 8 means 32. And here we had Kharavod, the then acting chairman, our KP Cherian sir. He was the acting as chairman. So we had Kharavod him in his office, and all the comrades were arrested by the police and taken to the Alua police station, including some 24 lady comrades. Everybody was taken to the police station. Criminal case was registered, and even after the strike concluded, the criminal case was continuing. And that was the situation. People are that way, that much enthusiastically participating in all the programs.
Whether it is a women or
men or women, everybody participated, and irrespective of the consequences, because this criminal case and other things, that was not expected that way, but faced very boldly.
About the youth of today's youth. When in the 80s, our average age was 27. Then also we were youth at that time. But now, about the union activities, their involvement,
generally our comrades are very much active in the union movement. And the only thing is that times have changed. Naturally, the vision, the approach of the youngster, that has undergone a vast change. It is quite natural. But when a situation comes, our comrades are very much in the forefront of the organization. That is the fundamental thing we can underline. They were very much there in all the activities of the union.
So what are the challenges facing workers in general and particular bank employees?
Challenges means even the banking industry itself is undergoing a vast change. And it has been. And that will continue also, because the world over, the banking system, that is undergoing changes. So we cannot be an island different from the entire world. That way changes will come naturally, depending upon the changes, depending upon the situation. We have to adapt. We have to adopt to meet the changing scenario. That our comrades, especially our young comrades, they are very much prepared for that. Because technologically or otherwise, our comrades are very much they are very much thorough with the subject. Changes they can very well adopt.
Advice to the present generation for facing these challenges?
No advice that way. Because once we stay together and resist the anti-employee stance of the managements, naturally we will win. There is no unity is the most important issue, and that way we can be proud of that. Bank employees generally, they are well unionized, well organized, and under the leadership of AIBA, our union is very much progressing that way.
And, you have not mentioned about CHP associated with long time you were
CHP naturally he is a very big leader, and
as a joint secretary with him?
Yes, 2 times joint secretary and 1 time central committee member, and he is also forgetting all his personal problems, or he is 24 hours, 24 into 7 is IBA and trade union man that way.
What do you feel after the long span of 6 decades of activities? What do you feel about the bank employees union and also bank employees union? Trade union activities in a long span of these 6 decades.
6 decades means
you were part of for 4 decades.
Almost 4 decades I am part of the movement, and it is the hard work put in by the leaders and cadres, because we cannot say only the leaders have brought up the organization. The cadres, because thousands and thousands of comrades who are unknown, they have nameless, faceless. They are the heart of the movement, heart of the organization, whether it is IBA, whether it is FBEU. Because in each and every part of the country, our so many comrades are there. They are actually leading the movement, leading the organization. They may not be a regional secretary or branch secretary or the other office bearer or committee member, but they are fully with the organization, and they are guiding the young comrades. That is also there. They will be guiding, whether he may be even after getting promotion, they will be doing this work. That is
Government affection
to the organization, that they will shower on the young comrades also. That is the advantage. That way, the future of the organization, according to me, it is very bright. There is nothing to fear that way.
Some personal questions about your family, and we have to, with this we can conclude.
My wife is a retired teacher, and we have one daughter. She is also working in Federal Bank, and she is having 2 daughters. We are staying at Kaladi.
Happily retired life.
Retired life, yes, naturally.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.